call to order the December 3rd meeting of the Alcohol License Advisory Committee. Could we have the roll call, please?
Committee Member Bruner?
Here.
Committee Member Bumpus?
Here.
Committee Member Sickett?
Here.
Committee Member Strong? Chairperson Miller?
Here.
And Councilmember Marshak?
Here.
Did I get everybody? Committee Member Henry is absent, so we have six present. We do have a quorum.
Thank you. Number 3, we'll have approval of the minutes, the November meeting minutes.
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Motion by Bruner, second by Marshak. Anything further, gentlemen?
No, thank you.
All in favor on this one?
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None heard. Motion passes unanimously. Requests and comments from the public regarding items on the agenda not requiring a public hearing. Do we have anyone wishing to speak? Going once? Twice? Seeing none?
Sold.
We'll move on to licenses. Original application and public hearing for Class A intoxicating liquor and fermented malt beverage license for Janesville 1514, doing business as Grain and Grape, 1514 East Racine Street.
Give your name, address, and your position with the company.
My name is Sukhjinder Singh. I'm the agent. And this business is running. We just buying this business, and there's one more business in Beloit, and it's also running.
In Beloit and where?
Beloit, it's a Sunny's Liquor.
Okay.
That one is also running.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about your business plan at the Grain and Grape?
We're gonna do the same thing as it was before, just the liquor.
Mr. Singh, this is just a sale, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And I saw that the previous owner is relinquishing and you are starting fresh. All right. Application seems to be complete. Are there any questions from the committee?
When are you taking ownership?
Sir, when we getting license, next day we're gonna take closing.
So it'll go to council on Monday, okay? And so then they could schedule, if council passes it, which they likely will, they could close on Tuesday and begin their business.
For right now, the business is still open.
Yes, sir.
Correct?
Yes, sir.
If I remember, with the current ownership, it's still open.
Yes, sir.
Until you close on the sale.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I would make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion by Marshak, second by Sickich. Anything further? If nothing further, do you want a voice vote or do
If
you
you've
want?
got buttons, go ahead. I did set it up for buttons.
I didn't get no buttons.
Okay, are you a yes?
I'm a yes. I got no buttons.
You're a yes?
Yes. George, why you're special?
That passes
How did you
unanimously.
get buttons?
Congratulations, good luck.
Thank you. Thank
Good
you.
luck. Thanks.
So you'll need to come here on Monday evening. It'll be on the consent agenda, Monday, December 9th, here at 6 p.m. And then when council, goes through and approves that, then you can work with Liz back in the back of the room there to get your license.
Okay.
You will need the proof of, ownership, so you'll need like the closing papers or the deed. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to staff reports. Janesville Police Department Incident Report.
Just going through all of the things, there's really nothing to report on any of those establishments. All the ordinance violations were
within compliance. So, don't really have any violations to report.
Good to know. City clerk.
You might notice in your packet under the police report that Deputy Chief Ratzlaff did provide a compliance report for the those that were out of compliance. And just, I've been in contact with Chairperson Miller, but just for the rest of the group's awareness, the beginning of the year, this will be a priority in my office now that I can come up for air from elections and tax bills. To go through Council Policy 66A and the ordinance chapter to actually have some sort of a process or policy that we can actually lean on to put some teeth into some of these compliance, bringing them in and just kind of warning them constantly, doesn't seem to be fixing the problem in the way that we'd like it. So we are working on it. Deputy Chief Ratzlaff, the city manager's office, myself, and the city attorney will be bringing something forward in the coming months.
License quota report.
Nothing, nothing to, I don't think we even have anything really on the radar right now.
Are there any temporary licenses that have been issued? I see none.
Nothing unusual.
I got a question, Mark. The bar that was opened on Franklin Street, right around the corner there, I noticed there's a lot of debris and stuff. Is that open, or are they remodeling, or what are they doing?
So the bar that Ed Corna opened is open, and I'll tell you, if you haven't been in there, it's really neat. They've got a lot of like GM type murals on the wall and darts, and it's really quite neat. It's the building next to it that they are remodeling, and so I'm not sure. We're not quite sure what the
Restaurant
intention
was?
is. I could suppose we could bother planning to find that out, but they are remodeling the building next door to that.
Oh, it's the next door building that's getting all
He owns
the,
Yeah.
both of them, and I do believe his intention is to,
Expand open.
yes, but obviously you'll have to.
yeah, I was just wondering what, because I don't know what he's doing. I thought that was his, and
Yeah, I know he does have some limited hours, but we popped in. It's a very nice establishment.
okay, I just wanted to clarify for me that that he's open for business. 'cause
He's open for business, yep.
I hadn't been by there, and I went by and it would look dark, and so I didn't go to the door to
He's
check
only
hours.
open like Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah. So he's got limited hours, so I didn't go and check the hours, but then I saw the debris and I'm thinking, well, what's going on? But thank you, I appreciate that.
He's always doing something. As you might know, back here, he's also going to be starting to put in a brewery off the O'Reilly side, so not sure when they're groundbreaking, but that's all gone through as well, so.
I saw that. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, I believe Mr. Bumpus has an update for us from the conference.
Yes, I went to the Wisconsin State Alcohol Policy Conference seminar in October. And among those, there's a whole bunch of breakout sessions there. And over the course of the time, I've seen the place of last drink, which is always interesting. But this time one of the breakouts I went to was the compliance checks and stuff, and how other communities could take advice from them and how other communities are running theirs. And the presenters were the a representative from Calumet County Sheriff's Office and the city of Chilton, Wisconsin, which are directly across the lake from Oshkosh. Now you got to keep in mind that county's only got 52,000 people. They have 5 municipalities in there, but they must have had a death, an underage death from an underage sale back in 16 or 18, and that really brought the community to their heels. So they got together as a whole community, the whole county got together with all the 5 municipalities, and all the police departments got together, and they run a compliance check twice a year of every establishment in the county, 116 establishments over a period of 2 weeks. Now, they went from a 68% compliance to an 88% compliance in the years since then. Now, they play fair, more fair than I would, is that they send out a letter to every establishment ahead, and it's in the next 2 weeks or the first 2 weeks of October, whatever, we're gonna do a compliance checks. And then they do a follow-up on them and stuff. The community, the police departments all share their deputies or their police officers, so they're going to a different community's establishment to look for, because they don't want to be recognized. In the case of the bars, one of the officers actually goes in with a telephone, he goes in ahead of time, and he actually videotaped the sale. So there's no chance on it. And we actually showed that as part of the thing, so. Their whole thing is that I know we probably have, I don't know anything, but we probably have people coming from Edgerton to come down here to buy. Because of the number of establishments we have, and then take it back to Edgerton. Edgerton would like to know that. You know, and vice versa. Maybe there's a bar that's got really loose standards up in Edgerton, and our kids are gonna be going to Edgerton or Evansville or Clinton or whatever like that. Because all it's gonna take is one of our kids to be dead before people wake up about this compliance thing. You know, because they do it over a period of 2 weeks, the telephone tree doesn't work. You don't know when you're gonna get hit from whichever and whatever, and I'm saying they did the bars, the liquor stores, the hotels, everybody had a liquor license got complied with. So I think it's maybe something we could get together with our police department and the other communities until we have a debt. So that's all.
What is our process for compliance checks? How often do we have a schedule? Is it random?
It's pretty random, but generally we do send a letter ahead of time saying within the next period of time, you know, we'll be conducting compliance checks. And then we try to do several a year unless we don't have compliance, and then we try and do follow-ups on those as well. And then we try to work with the establishment to be like, hey, why did you fail? What's not working? You know, Hy-Vee seems to be the hot topic right now. But they have retrained all their people. They've met with management. They reviewed policy. I mean, they're really trying to comply. They called Lori and I immediately after their failed compliance, said, hey, this is what we're doing. We're trying to fix this. Lori, I believe you went out and talked to them as well.
Yeah, I've spent a couple hours with Stacy to make sure they understand, and even their staff members, if, you know, they have my number. So I've had a couple of staff that work in the liquor store actually call and say, hey, is this legal? Is that legal? So yeah, their eyes are open to it with the second issue. One is like oh, this is bad. Two will wake them up.
So do we have some kind of tracking mechanism that we know we hit everybody in town once throughout the year? Or?
Yeah, I don't think we hit everyone throughout the year, but they go back and look at the previous compliance checks and then they randomly select. And so it's pretty a random selection unless they're not compliant and they follow up. As far as bars go, we send our officers through on compliance checks, you know, checking bartender licenses and stuff like that, but sending undercover underage in there, no.
That's well over half our licenses and stuff. So a busy time at a busy bar and stuff like that, that's when they slide through. And that's when this kid from Edgerton's gonna get in this year, So that's the thing is we've never done the bars on a regular basis like they are doing up north. So.
Yeah, but if you give somebody a letter for I mean, you're stupid if you get caught. That's the dumbest
Right.
compliance check I've ever heard of in my life.
Well, even if you were to make a public announcement,
Yeah.
if you were to put it out there and say October is going to be compliance month, October and May are going to be compliance months, you know. So if you fail your compliance check.
Well, one of the things that the officers did present, and it's on my phone buried somewhere, was a $125 fake license. And the only reason it failed was the barcode in the back. Because the bar that was presented to had the barcode scanner and it flagged up. And they passed this around. It didn't even have the heat and press embossing on the back. It was fake. So. and
But
this
we
was-
don't have any
this-
ordinance that would require them to have a scanning system.
We don't.
Right.
Some of our liquor establishments, our bars, or excuse me, our stores
Chapter
do have.
125 does, it prohibits from mandating scanners.
Right. Some of our stores have them and stuff like that. But I'm saying this is how prevalent the issue was. And apparently it came from Canada. College kids did whatever he had to do, sent it off, and $125 later, here comes this fake ID, and it was excellent. Then when you look at it critically, it had issues in the printing, but it would have passed the cursory exam like that. So.
What's the thought process on giving establishments a heads up? Because I have to agree with Mo, hey, we're gonna come check you for the next 2 weeks, so why isn't it just a surprise?
Certainly could do that. I don't know how the process was established in the past. It's just always what they.
Well, and it sounds like it's not just us. I mean, Chilton does the same
Yeah.
thing.
I think if I recall when that was first established, we did, just do the compliance checks. We didn't announce ahead of time and things like that. But then in working with the liquor industry and stuff, we kind of built the system that's being used today. When we first went into it, it was something new that we were doing. And it worked. I mean, we sure brought the attention to some people as far as compliance. But I think today they're doing a more, sophisticated job than we did.
Sure.
But it was something new, when it was started. It wasn't something that was being done all over at the time.
So it's industry standard, or, I mean, it's basically how everybody does it, is giving this 2-week heads up.
Some don't do it at all. That was one of the things. Some
Okay.
communities don't do any compliance checks at
Yeah.
all.
I know our community to the south does not give a heads up. And so, surprise, right.
It's like the Michigan, Ohio State, the team from up north.
Yes.
For those football fans in the room.
But we should be doing, and I agree that we should be doing more compliance checks. I'm wondering if maybe we could sit down and come up with a plan going forward to maybe make that a more routine, I hate to say routine, but
What is our compliance percentage? Do we know?
I'd have to figure it out. I don't know it off the top of my head.
Okay.
The
It's
last
not good
failure
over the
was
last
over
few
25% failed.
What's that?
The last check was over, 5 of 13 failed.
Okay.
And the one before that, 4 of 12, I believe it was 4 of 12 failed.
So
2 of
that's-
which were the same.
Yeah.
We've had it, over the years, there's been failures like he's talking, and there's been like almost
Clean
100%
ones.
compliance.
Yeah.
So it just kind of depends. And, I know that when we first started it, for example, one of the liquor stores, I think the fine was, like $750, if I remember correctly.
that was high.
It was high. And I knew the gentleman that got caught in the compliance, and I mean, number one, he was embarrassed, and number two, he couldn't believe the penalty that he had to pay. And the owners would put it onto the clerk that was buying. This guy was not the owner, he was a clerk,
Mhm.
and got caught. So his paycheck, more than his paycheck went
Yeah.
for the penalty. And so, at least back then, that was one of the things that caught their eye was the penalty that we had. That penalty's been reduced now,
Now, the
right?
statute now is reduced, it
Yeah.
can't be more than $500.
$500.
We're doing
So when it says
452.50.
clerk cited is, so it's a $452 ticket.
So, Officer Redloff, what has happened with the owner liability or the establishment liability? Because when we're looking at multiple violations within a short period of time, I would think at some point we have to look at the owner liability, the training, the you know, whatever that ends up being.
Yeah, absolutely. And certainly the establishment can be sanctioned as well, and that's what Lori and I are going to work on, setting up a more consistent method so that they know the expectations and there's consistency with all of them across the board.
Yeah, and I actually believe that if we put some more teeth into it, like we're looking at, that will have a bigger impact than doing an extra compliance check a year or something, because I think the word will start to get out. If we end up with, you're closed down for a day, I have no idea what you come up with, but suddenly people are gonna think, oh crap. And I think that will be more of a deterrent than doing more compliance checks. I don't know.
I just got a question, Chief. On some of these liquor stores with the drive-up windows, do we ever just do a drive-up window compliance?
Not that I'm aware of.
Good.
We have 2 or 3? I think we have
Good.
3.
You know, I was just thinking that, you know, that would at least get some attention too.
Yeah.
Just a thought, just a thought.
Probably not in a squad.
No, but you send an 18-year-old or 17
Oh,
or
yeah.
18-year-old through in the car,
Yep.
and he orders his whatever, and if they just, okay, and hand it out the window, and,
Agreed.
There are communities who have grandfathered drive-throughs in for the existing and written into their ordinance that liquor stores can no longer have those. I mean, that is a consideration to look at if it does become an issue. You know, drive-through is not as common as they used to be.
but there are some, that's, I just,
Yeah.
Yes, we do have, I think,
just a
two.
thought.
I think it's good that we're just looking at everything. You know, this is a good opportunity to just look at the whole process and,
That's why I wanted to bring that up.
yeah, no, that's
You know,
great information. Appreciate
In
that.
in the future, if all the community, and Heather now, or committee member Miller's got the information with the, I believe it's a medical college now, is running the, policy thing. Every year, they have a seminar. And I really behoove that someone from this committee and the city clerk's office go to that seminar next year. It's usually held in October or so, which is your bad time, but, next year is your off year and stuff. To see the other things that are going on and to talk to the other communities that are, whatever. Because we have representatives from across the, literally across the state, and the state police is there. And they bring their wisdom and their experiences that you can interact over a course of a day and a half with. And it, I've gone to it several times over the last, 10 years now. So,
Thank you for that. Are there any other committee announcements, comments? If not, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
motion, out of here.
Motion by
I'll be a second.
Motion by Bruner, second by Sickich. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed?